told you about his plans, and I told you that he was an orphan. The last part is not technically true. Whilst Jacob believes he is an orphan, his father is still alive. So, Jacob's father, Canaris. Let me tell you a little bit about him, because there is certainly a chance that we may come into contact with Canaris. I first met Canaris when I was just starting out as an apprentice here. I was walking around the grounds of one of our castles. It's a bit like an academy. And there are woods around this castle. I noticed something moving in the trees. It must have been about 15 feet high. And it didn't appear to have any shape, but I could see a rustling, as if there were something in the trees. I decided to move closer, as you would, and I noticed a hand on the trunk of the tree, but just a hand, no arm attached to it. I thought this was rather strange, but of course I was well aware of the kind of magic that was being shown to me in the castle, and after a while you do tend to open your mind somewhat. Anyway, I decided to call out and say hello. Is anybody there? And from the hand, an arm began to develop and emerge outside. Yes, it's just some traffic noise. Why are we here? Well, this is a meeting is going to take place that I'd like you to listen in on. I don't want you to talk, but just to listen. But yes, there is some traffic noise. I know you came here without realizing it, and you have just appeared in this room, but yes, we are close to some traffic here. Anyway, yes, so, Canaris. So an arm appeared, and I thought to myself, right, is this perhaps some kind of a joke on the apprentices, you know? But actually, it wasn't a joke at all. In fact, the castle had no idea that this individual, Canaris, was here. From the arm, then came a shoulder, a back, a torso, a head, and a full body emerged. The eyes were fascinating. They were golden, bright golden, no pupils or any other parts of the eye, just the entire eye area was gold, bright gold, fascinating. I was hypnotized by it, really. It was so beautiful, but I had to snap out of it, because I thought, who is this person and being, and what do they want with me? They jumped down from the tree, long, flowing blonde hair, a well-built male, muscle, about 6'2", and they approached me and said, "I think you and I will be friends." And I said, "Okay, who are you?" And he said, "My name is Canaris, and you will have a bright future here." And I said, "Okay, and how do you know me?" He said, "I have sensed you for a while. There is something you will need to do for me in the future." Okay, now this is probably about 15 years ago. So, Jacon's about the same age as me, and he would have been about 17 or so, unaware of his father, of course. But he told me that he had a child, and he said at the moment it is not looking good for Jacon and his decisions. And I said, "Okay, what has that got to do with me?" And he said, "Well, I am unable to watch over the boy, so I need you to try and guide him." And I said, "But you're his father, why are you unable to watch over him?" Which I will explain in a moment. Anyway, he mentioned his brother, but he didn't go into detail about that. But he did talk about Mr. Benaggio, and how Mr. Benaggio had taken him under his wing, and he said that concerned him. Now, we were aware of Mr. Benaggio at this time. It's been a long, long time that Mr. Benaggio has been on the radar of our organisation. But I said, "Look, really, I don't see what this has got to do with me, and I don't understand why are you not able to fix this yourself." And he said this. This was very interesting. So, he has the ability to disappear and reappear anywhere he likes. And it always starts with his hands. So the hands are the first to emerge in a place, and then the body follows, and it was the hands that were rustling through the bushes in the trees, trying to get a grip on the trunk, and then the body could emerge from that once there's somewhere to stand. He can't fly, so he has to emerge where there is somewhere to stand. And I said, "Okay, fair enough." And then he said, and basically Mr. Benaggio is aware of this and has an ability to capture his hands, locking him in a state of transitional imprisonment. So it's like Benaggio will capture the hands, and then the rest of the body cannot. It is stuck in a transition. Can't emerge until the hands are freed. Okay? And he said that basically the reason he had to leave his sons was because he knew that Mr. Benaggio would meet them, or at least meet Jacon, and that they would be drawn together, and he wanted to use this. Canaris wanted to use this as a lure, as bait to get someone on the inside. And I thought, "But that's your son, surely, what?" And he said, where he's from, the relationships between father and son are a bit colder. And he said, "It's something that has to be done for the greater good." "Okay, so what's this got to do with me?" I said. So then he said, you need to contact Jacon in the future and convince him to betray Mr. Benazio. You see? Right. Okay, so I'm like the final piece of this puzzle of his, Mr. Canara's puzzle. And he said, kind of, yes. But here's the problem. No one was expecting Jacon to decide to betray Benazio on his own. And that's where there's become a problem with the plan, you see. The idea was that Benazio would be betrayed by Jacon, who would be eventually working for us as a, inside man. But his father, Canaris, didn't expect Jacon to betray him without hearing about it and try and get the power for himself. So, yes, it is a bit of a mess, I'm afraid. Anyway, Canaris said that he would watch over me and guide me, because at this time, remember, Canaris doesn't know that Jacon's going to betray Benazio. This happened later, this is happening now. So Jacon is betraying Mr. Benazio right now. This was 15 years ago that I had this conversation. And Canaris said he would watch over me, which he has done. He has done. I don't know about the mother. The reason you've been brought here today for this meeting is to discuss an attempt to contact Mr. Canaris and find him, or Canaris, Mr. Canaris and find him, because he has disappeared. He would contact me quite often, maybe, I don't know, once a month at least. He would appear, I'd say the hands first, and then he would emerge, but he hasn't done for a long time. At first I thought he was just staying back for a bit, but I am worried. Now. Obviously Mr. Benazio is aware of Canaris, so it's just a case of whether or not he's decided to finally deal with him. I don't know. I want you to listen in on this meeting, okay? And I want you to be totally aware of everything you're going to hear. And I'm going to have to rely on you to remember things said in this meeting, so that when we go to look for Canaris, we have everything we need in your mind. And so you don't forget, don't worry. I'm now going to place a spell on you to make you remember everything that is said. Okay? Okay. I must remove my jacket. Regardless of what you can remember without the aid of magic, regardless of what you take in for the next hour, you will remember all things, all things that you see, that you hear, that you think, that you smell and taste. For the next hour, you will remember memory spell. This is a 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 memory spell. You will remember all things for the next hour. You will recall all things that you see and hear and taste and smell and think. For the next hour, you will recall all things. For the next hour, this is a memory spell. This is a memory spell. This is a memory spell. You will remember all things for the next hour. For this is a memory spell. 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 You will remember all things for the next hour. You will recall all things that you see and hear and taste and smell and think. For the next hour, you will recall all things. For the next hour, this is a memory spell. This is a memory spell. This is a memory spell.